Meghana. So, in the last video, you told us about what unconscious bias is and possible ways that it can show up in our daily life. I would like to hear some ways to combat unconscious bias, and especially in the workspace.
Yeah. So thanks, Rashmi. So basically, I think the first thing that we spoke about even in the last video was how unconscious bias permeates our life because of its unconscious nature. So the first strategy, and we talk about a bunch of them in the session that in the workshop that we run. The first is to bring it into awareness. So the first strategy really is to raise awareness of our own biases, and there are a bunch of tools that are available online in the workshop that we run as well. But what I love most is a strategy called become a detective of your own mind, which is that, so keep track, so just keep track like an investigator of, oh, why did I respond to someone like that? Why did I already like this person? What about that person? Why? So to keep track of that and shift ourselves into awareness, and that's really the first and the big step. And then after that, there are a whole bunch of other things that we can do. And to demonstrate those, what I'd like to do is talk to you about this lovely real life scenario that happened recently in Chennai. Is this judge called Justice Anand Venkatesh, and he had two girls come, and talk about how they were being harassed by the police. And they had run away from home, and the parents were asking the police to harass them, really. And he said that, I'm not woke enough, I'm not aware enough to rule on this case, so give me some time. So he really did all the steps of unconscious bias in that way. He shifted himself to awareness. He shifted himself to system 2 thinking. So we spoke last time about our brain using shortcuts to make decisions, to make our life simpler. So to shift ourselves into the more difficult, effortful thinking is really where we combat bias, and which is what he did. He said, give me some time to educate myself, and then when I'm more aware, I can rule on this case. So he did that. He educated himself, he bias busted himself, and then he came back and ruled in favor of the girls. He actually put things in place to ask the police to go through a similar training as himself, so that this doesn't repeat in future, which really is a nudge. And so basically it's like putting a nudge in motion, and it's not just remaining in your thinking. Some of us get progressive in our minds, but it has to show in our behavior. So in corporates, it can be in your vision statement and in your all of that, but it has to show in the behavior of employees and the practices that we put into place in our organizations. So he did that, and that's really what combating bias looks like: shifting into awareness, employing actionable strategies that are put into place on an organizational and personal level, and how we can all help each other by bias busting not just others but ourselves as well.
Absolutely lovely. I also had heard of this strategy called the blind CV, where you take out the markers of name, age, gender, and then just present the CV and the description and the capacities and the qualities of the person, and how it might be able to combat the presumptions we make based on these factors. Yeah,
absolutely. First impression bias is a big thing that impacts the interview, or similar to me bias. So just awareness that these things exist, that, when somebody walks into the room from the same college as you or the same state as you is something already. So again, going back to being the investigative journalist of your mind. Absolutely. Yeah.
Lovely. Thank you. Thank you so much, Meghana, for sharing the strategies and for being here with us. Thank you.
Thanks, Rashmi. Thank you.